Hello there everybody, it is me XFreezerBunny and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed building video. Okay guys, so today we're going to be speed building part 2 of my collab with the amazing Simproved on a set of educational themed venues called Too Cool for School. That's swag though. Anyway, but first off, of course, I'd like to give a special shout out and a big thank you to Simproved for asking me to do my first ever collab. So you guys can see that she has already created the library that you guys just saw featured in the intro of this video. All of that is now available on her channel, so go ahead and drop by and give her some love. I link everything down in the description below as usual. Anyway, Too Cool for School is a set of 2 venues composed of a library and a museum, and this is the perfect hangout for Sims who have a thirst for knowledge or anybody who's just interested in learning. And in my opinion, that is, you know, hipsters and all that stuff. I don't know. But yeah, this is pretty much a hangout for people who are too lazy to go to school but still want to learn and, I don't know, experience a lot of art and a lot of knowledge all into one. So basically, when we were talking about possible types of venues, we decided that a combination of both a library and a museum would be perfect because, like I said, both of them are kind of geared towards education and learning and all that stuff, and I really like that idea. And both of us decided to just split it up into 2. So she decided to do the library and I decided to do the museum one. So anyway, you guys can see that I am doing quite a bit of stuff with our museum that is absolutely out of my comfort zone. For you guys who know my, my aesthetic and the type of build that I usually do, this is literally asymmetrical, nothing like how I would normally do. However, this is a side of me that a lot of you guys might have probably not seen before because I usually make like period style buildings and stuff like that. You guys never see me do any modern architecture, so I'm very happy to share my way of building modern architecture, actually, even though this particular style is a little bit more postmodern. But anyway, let me actually talk of the building. So most of the doors that I use for this building have like a red door that actually opens and closes, and there's a lot of glass pretty much. It was very challenging for me to do this build because unlike, how I would normally do my builds, there was already an existing building right next to the one that I was building. So I did reference it quite a bit, cause it's called contextual architecture. Look it up. But anyway, I did reference the building that was designed by Simproved, and you guys will see a lot of similar design elements. However, in the end result, you guys will see that, the character of each building is really says a lot about the designer. So, each building is unique in its own way, but both of them still complement each other. So I'm really happy with the result, actually. I'm so excited for you guys to see it because it is just impeccable. Anyway, so yeah, I'm adding a lot of glass because, I don't know, it just felt normal. It felt natural to add a lot of glass in a modernist type of building. And the only standout is the red door amongst that whole sea of glass for the ground floor. And I've never really talked about this, I guess, but you guys will see that ombre finish for the second floor. That is actually my trademark as a designer. I use that a lot. I use ombre. You guys, if you probably don't have any idea what I'm talking about. I am working on my architectural degree, and of course I encounter a lot of architectural projects and stuff, and I would usually design buildings that have ombre finishes for the exterior. Those are toilets, by the way, what I'm trying to do right now. So you guys will see that is a unique factor of this building, because designing a museum does not require a lot of windows because there's a lot of paintings that need to be hung. So my solution for that is just to create a good texture for the outside. Anyway, so for this area, this is actually gonna be like a bar type of area. I don't know, the only thing missing in this set of venues was actually a place where your Sims can eat. So I decided to just incorporate a bar over here using these striking red colors. And I don't know, you guys will see a lot of contrasting color schemes that I used all throughout this build. And usually I would go for a more subtle, cohesive color scheme, but for this one, it was very modern, postmodern actually, and I was able to use a lot of really striking contrast and really intense color schemes. I used a lot of red as well. There's kind of bits and pieces of red outside, but still the unique feature of this lot is definitely the exterior finishes that the ombre wood panels create. Anyway, so these are additional bar areas. I don't know, I just think that they look really nice, and I love the effect that this makes with like the display neon lighting with all the bottles and stuff. I don't know, I thought that was really cool. And so yeah. And let's see here, what else should I talk about? Okay, so I'm basically like just designing some feature walls. I ended up using like some very simple concrete panels for the walls, because I was like, you know what, the color scheme is already striking in itself. I don't need to have an extra striking feature wall. And I did try to incorporate some paintings as well, but I ended up just leaving the walls blank. Of course, adding in some appliances over here, which I'm eventually gonna replace, because I realized that there are some objects from Get to Work that would actually fit really well with this build. And yes, you are required to have Get to Work if you download this set of venues with the museum. However, the library alone, you guys will be able to download it already. Just search for hashtag Simproved or hashtag Amitaliri, and that does not require Get to Work, because Simproved, who is my co-collaborator for this build, does not have Get to Work. So anyway, those are bathrooms, and then this rear backside room is just going to be a kind of lounge area, which is really awesome as well. I was able to experiment with a lot of furniture that I would normally not be able to use, but I'm really happy that I was able to use a lot of furniture actually, and try to explore, get out of my comfort zone. I was able to discover a lot of amazing artworks that you guys need to unlock. But you know, if you visit this museum, if you actually plop it into your world, you don't need to unlock these artworks, and unlocking those artworks are a pain in the butt, believe me. You have to work, I believe they're career locked objects and stuff. So you guys, if you actually visit this lot, you'll be able to enjoy those artworks by yourself. No need to unlock it. So that's additional incentive to download this and plop it into your neighborhood. And I did incorporate a lot of these like branches type of plant sculpture. You guys will see that because there's a lot of like sharp edges, like 90-degree edges and stuff, and I think those plant branches sculptures, or whatever, I don't know what to call them, I'm just gonna call them plants, but yeah, I think they add an additional, you know, organic feel to this very rigid building, which by the way, I am in love with, you guys. I'm so proud of it. I can't wait until you guys see the finished product. So anyway, I'm just filling with the layout, I guess. And then this is actually the actual lobby for the museum itself, and you guys can see me use some cheats. By the way, I did use 3 cheats for this build. I used the show all objects, show hidden objects, I mean, and then game entitlement cheat, and then finally I used move objects, and you guys will see me enter that as we go on. And basically this is the reception area where there is a feature wall. You guys can see that stunning painting that is not available in normal build buy mode. You guys have to unlock that, but if you use this cheat, then you'll be able to unlock it. But that is one of the most stunning pieces of art in this museum, and I decided to put it in the lobby because, you know, why not? You have to make a big impression, right? You have to make a good first impression to your visitors when they're visiting. And of course, every lobby has to have like a seating area. So once again, I'm using these same exact chairs that I used earlier, and the same exact composition as well. I'm going to be placing those plants behind them. I don't know, it's just a little bit of a cohesion type of thing. And I'm gonna add that magazine rack from Get to Work just to make it a little bit more realistic. Okay, so over here for the outside, at this point I did not have any idea what the landscaping would be like, so I just left it bare as it is, and I added an additional seating areas for our kind of restaurant concession type of area. Oh, and it's suddenly nighttime, and I think I'm gonna be working on the first gallery. Okay, we have some things to work on the outdoors, but yeah, once again, those ombre finishes for the outdoors, it's the first time that I'm doing it in this game, but I don't know, I use that a lot in real life actually when I'm making my own projects for school. But anyway, that is kind of a signature that I have that I did notice nobody has ever done that before. I don't know, maybe I have to look online or something, but anyway. These glass cases were kind of a neat little addition that I came up with. They actually have sculptures inside of them. A lot of this is, you know, a lot of these exhibits in the museum have a lot of repetition. The only thing that I did is change like the colors or change like the print or the pattern and stuff like that. And the reason for that is because, I don't know, it's modern art. It really needs to be experienced. You know, a lot of people have misconceptions about museums. You know, usually people would assume that museum is just a building where you keep or showcase artwork. Well, in my opinion, that's not the case, because museums should be able to communicate and, you know, deliver the emotion that is embedded within the artwork. So for me, you know, each piece of art has a certain emotion that is attached to it, you know. And I think that the museum has to work with that artwork in order to showcase that emotion and to give off an experience. It is an experience, you guys. So basically that's what I was going for here. I tried to keep everything minimal just to, I don't know, I really wanted to focus on the experience itself and not on like the type of furniture and stuff like that. And you guys will see that the architecture plays a very, very big role in delivering that experience. Yeah, hashtag experiential. Which is another key word for architecture actually. Anyway, I did try to replace that magazine rack with a vending machine, but I ended up just keeping the magazine rack. The vending machine will be back later on outside, and I did place that one electronica speaker. But speaking of which, I am absolutely in love with this gallery. You guys will see me use these counters all the time, but like I said, I used some very rare, I guess, paintings. So these paintings, you guys will only be able to unlock if you use a cheat, or if you want to legitimately unlock them, you guys might have to look it up. I think it has something to do with like the astronaut or the scientist career, I don't know, but they're very beautiful. Most of the paintings that are actually showcased in this lot are actually modern pieces of art that you can't normally purchase off of build to buy mode. That gives you additional incentive for going to this museum, by the way, because you can actually see some rare paintings. Okay, anyway, this gallery is my favorite. There is this set of paintings that come with a base game, I believe, that come with so many different varieties. There's literally like 16 or 20 different paintings, and I wasn't able to fit all of them. You guys will see me do 2 paintings per wall, or like per, I don't know, but yeah, that's basically like all I can do, because I could not fit in the rest of the other paintings from that set. But anyway, this painting, I was able to showcase each painting from the set, and I placed like those nice little tags. Those are actually photo things from Get to Work, but I thought that they looked like tags, you know, like labels for the paintings and stuff, which I thought looked really cute. By the way, like I said, this is my favorite gallery. I don't know, there's just something about those paintings that look like outer space or something that, I don't know, it just looks absolutely stunning. Anyway, I tried to incorporate a rug over here and something in the middle just to give it a little bit more activity. Ended up not doing anything though. This rug, right now it's black and white. Eventually it'll be purple or something to match with like the color schemes that we have in the paintings. But for this floor, I actually decided to do some interesting rug layout or design. So basically I covered the whole entire floor with these circular rugs that came in Get to Work, and I thought that gave it a little bit more texture, you know, it gave it a little bit more character as well, and it, you know, it sets the gallery, it sets it apart from the rest of the museum. But anyway, this area over here features the other large painting, because these 2 large paintings that you guys can see, the green one and the purple one, both of them are the same. Technically, the other, it's just a different print or something, I don't know. But yeah, I was able to feature both of them together in the same alignment. The other one's on the second floor and the other one's on the ground floor. I don't know, that's just a nice little touch. And I added some windows over here just to add some more interest. And you know, it's always nice to see artwork in natural sunlight as well. That's not, I don't know, it's just nice. Anyway, additional seating areas, which once again I use that exact same composition. And then over here it's very interesting because this is supposed to be like just a lobby for the toilet, but I ended up incorporating like some sculptural elements. I added in some plants inside of those like window encasements or glass encasements, I don't know, but I'm gonna add like some plants that came with a base game, and I'm gonna keep them in white actually, because there's already a lot of color going on that I think white was the best option in this case. But once again, you are gonna have to experience this museum because the architecture really plays a big role in delivering all the emotions that you need to be felt. I don't know, I'm really proud of it, you guys, in case you guys didn't know. And most of the artwork that's actually featured in this museum is paintings, but I did incorporate some sculptures as well, just a little bit of sculpture. But you guys will see a lot of rare paintings once again, which you'll have to unlock, but I did the liberty of unlocking it for you guys, and you guys can enjoy them in this museum. I love how I'm literally talking about that all the time. But I'm gonna place this rug, change it into that nice yellow and blue color, and I don't know, I think they just do a great job of enhancing the paintings. You know, I think it's eye candy pretty much. It makes the other colors pop. And of course, placing in those name tags underneath the painting. I did try to incorporate like some security cameras, but they just look awkward. So I was like, you know what, screw this, I'm not gonna do anything. And these galleries, I actually kind of ran out of rare paintings that I can exhibit. So what I did is that I literally just copied other the paintings, and then I just used them multiple times. These ones I was originally gonna use, but eventually I just changed them into something that you need to unlock as well. And by the way, I'm placing counters on like the bottom of the painting just to give it a little bit more depth. And you know, the paintings look like they're floating without the counters, and I think the counters help ground it a little bit and help draw the eye closer to the painting. It's the counters, I mean the counter cabinets are black anyway, so that they don't steal as much attention. Yeah, so I had a lot of trouble like figuring out the layout of these paintings, so I ended up just changing them. I was like, you know what, screw this, it's just not working for me. And it didn't look like it worked well with our artwork, because these, I don't know, they were a very specific style. And I did add this nice little sign outside, which, you know, communicates really well, I guess, with the people. One really interesting about this lot, is that it is a corner lot, so you guys will see a lot of the architectural detail is located on the intersections of the road, which is awesome. Anyway, some more. There we go. Like I said, I just went ahead and copied these paintings. I don't know, I really like them anyway, and I believe these paintings you're gonna have to unlock by leveling up your scientific skill or something like that. I honestly don't know. I just use a cheat to unlock them. And I'm very glad that I did this collab, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have discovered these amazing paintings. They're absolutely amazing, you guys. And you guys have never seen me build modern houses before, or like modern architecture, but I don't know. This is a little bit of a taste, because usually I do modern architecture like 24/7, and of course I would want to get away from that, because that's literally my life as an architecture student. You barely get to do any classical architecture, so you know, I'm glad to show you guys like something different this time. And I don't know, anyway, I'm very proud of the museum actually. Eventually I went with these abstract paintings that come in 3 different colors. It comes in green, blue, and green, black, and red. And I had a little bit of trouble figuring out which colors should go on which wall. Eventually I went with the green and the black on the same room, and then the red one in a separate room, because I thought that the red was too intense, and the green and the black are a little bit subtle anyway, so having them in one room would be nice. And then there is this display case in the middle, And I believe it came with Get to Work, and that is going to contain one sculpture, and I'm going to place a sculpture over there in between those two love seats as well. I don't know, it just adds a little bit more of a like a museum feel, you know, throwing random sculptures. So yeah, you guys will see me leave a lot of blank space in this museum. Cue Taylor Swift music, no, I'm kidding. But there's a lot of blank space because, you know, you really need to take a step back and to appreciate the art. But I did notice a lack of good modern sculptures in the game, so I ended up just working with what I have. And I'm really happy with the type of sculptures that I got. Actually, I have one that has like, I don't know, it's just really cute. Anyway, working with the outside, I think we're in our last couple of minutes. I think the only thing left to do is do a little bit of landscaping. So yeah, you guys can see me placing like a tarmac or something outside the museum. I did want it to look like a legit community lot, and that involves placing a lot of like you know, pavement outside. And I had a lot of trouble putting lights on these ombre wood panels, but whatever. I love the effect that these posters give. I think they make it look like a legit museum. It could even look like a planetarium or something, but I think it was appropriate for the type of artwork that we showcased in the museum, because it was very scientific. It was very like, you know, astronomical anyway, so I think it was very appropriate. Anyway, I'm just, you know, trying to see like a good composition for our landscaped area. You know, landscaping, I'm not ashamed to admit this, but it's not my forte. But I think I ended up doing really well. That's like one of the things that I really pushed myself to do so, because Simproved did a fantastic job landscaping on her library, and I'm like super pressured to level up to her awesomeness. And I think, you know, I might not have the same landscaping skills as she has, but I think I did really well considering I literally suck at landscaping. But I basically used most of the items that she used. Normally I would never use these items, but yeah, I used them, and I'm very proud of the results actually. It has a fantastic effect if you look at the landscaping from the indoors, and I think the floor to ceiling mirrors really help bring that connection between the interior and the exterior. And I decided to throw in a couple of cacti and some fountains as well on the front, just to give it a little bit more of a dynamic aesthetic sense, I guess. I don't know, I'm getting too technical here, but hopefully you guys are enjoying yourself so far. I think I'm gonna place some lighting. I did have a little bit of a problem with the lighting, especially for, like I said, the upper floors. It's very, very dark at night, and I think that's the only thing that really wasn't properly resolved. But other than that, the building still looks fantastic at night. I did want to showcase this ombre textured wood finish on the outside, but you know, I really wasn't able to find a proper light that did that. So anyway, and I decided to do some landscaping on the backside as well, because why not? There's also going to be some additional seating areas over here, which I imagine to be like a smoking area, and I'm gonna plop in like a nice little vending machine as well later on, which is probably a fridge. I didn't test this out just yet, but yeah, it's possibly just a fridge. But yeah, anyway, I'm adding these cute little bamboo shoot looking things, which, I don't know, desert tea. And these cacti that I used are really, really nice because they actually have flowers on top of them, and I thought that that added a little bit of, you know, spunk, I guess. I don't know, I just really liked how the flowers on the cacti looked. It's not something that you would see so often, so I'm just like fiddling with the landscaping. You guys can see me really trying to do my best here, and the end result, I think, turned out really, really nice. It complements the building fantastically. You know, it doesn't take away from the beauty of the outside, because I did put a lot of effort on the outside of the building, and the building itself looks very unique as well. So, you know, the landscaping was able to complement it successfully. And I'm gonna add like some seating areas over here. I did think of like this as like smoking areas because it is open air, but you know, you can't smoke in The Sims, and it's not like I'm trying to promote smoking. But yeah, I ended up making it like you know, a refreshment type of area because I'm assuming people from other neighboring community lots would stop by and they would just grab like something to drink, or maybe have a chat in one of the covered shaded areas over here. I don't know, but yeah. And once again, very minimalist architecture, but I think we are about to wrap up this video. So I guess that is going to be, yeah, it looks like that's going to be it for the speed building part of this video. But don't go just yet, because there's a couple more things that I'm going to show you guys in game. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut into live mode and show you guys all the interactions and the functionality of this house, and I will see you guys in just a second. Alrighty guys, we are back here in live mode, and really quickly what I'm gonna do is give you guys a house tour and overview kind of thing of the museum venue only, because Simproved has already included a bunch of screenshots of her library in her video, and all of that will be linked down in the description below. Highly recommend you guys check out her channel because she has a bunch of other builds and all that stuff. But anyway, before we proceed, I just want to go ahead and go check out the gallery and formally upload this venue, I mean. And by the way, one thing that I did notice is that I just patched my game, you guys, and we did get some updated loading screens, which gives us some game tips and stuff. It's really helpful, and I'm just gonna go ahead and read you guys the description. And yes, the official name for the venue is Too Cool for School, and it is set as generic for now, which you guys will be able to change in accordance to what you need. And it costs approximately 350,000 simoleons, and it doesn't have any bedrooms because it's not a residential lot, but it does have 7 bathrooms, and it was built on a 40 by 30 lot. Anyway, the description reads, the Too Cool for School venue is both a library and a museum, and is the perfect hangout for Sims with a thirst for knowledge. Collab by #Simproved and #FreezerBunny. So you guys can see all these different hashtags, or you guys can just enter the name of the venue and you guys will be able to download this for yourself. Super excited. Okay, anyway, let's just go ahead and spend the day with our Sims here at the museum. I'm just gonna let them go ahead and explore for now while I'll show you guys around the outside. And you guys can see this ombre effect with all the wood panels that I did. I talked a lot about this when I did my speed build and stuff, but I don't know, it's a really special trademark that I use in every time I do my modern buildings and stuff, and I'm glad to be able to use it in The Sims 4. So yeah, basically this is the lot. You can actually, if I zoom in out, you guys will see that a lot of the dimensions that I used, or a lot of the measurements that I used in this lot, were actually based off of what Simproved has already done. So basically, both lots are pretty much the same size, and they occupy pretty much the same amount of space of the lot as well, because it is an equal distribution of, it is the collab after all. Anyway, so yeah, I did go out of my comfort zone once again. I always do this for you guys, but it is an absolutely modern building. I love it though. There is a splash of red just to give it a little bit more spice, because other than that, it's a very monochromatic color scheme for the outside. And I am in love with these posters that are uberly large. It makes it look like a legit museum. Anyway, okay, and of course my favorite part is this ombre type of thing happening on the outside. I don't know, it's just really cool. Very postmodern and very cubist even. But we have this curved roof, which was actually also inspired by what Simproved has done. She is a very talented builder, so highly recommend you guys check out her channel. But anyway, The Sims, I actually have AI turned off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and have them. I could have sworn, yeah, I disabled their mood and stuff. Anyway, somebody needs to make a drink, and I don't know, just showing you guys all the different interactions, showing you guys that yes, this venue is indeed functional. So I'm just gonna have the boys grab some snack here, and this is indeed a vending machine, which is quite nice. And then the girls are just gonna go ahead and tap into their artistic side and actually look at these paintings. And you guys would notice that some of these rare paintings actually emit like an emotional aura, which is awesome. And then Kaylee's just gonna go ahead and explore here upstairs. So most of the paintings that I used are rare items, which you need to unlock in your own personal gameplay or use a cheat in order to access them. So yeah, most of the paintings that you guys see are actually special items. I don't know specifically how you unlock them. I'm pretty sure these ones can be unlocked by using the microscope and collecting plant samples and stuff, but that is a story that needs to be saved for another day, because right now our focus is on the interactions. Okay, so what interactions? Yes, of course you can view, and most of these items have the focusing aura. So when your Sims go here, he or she will actually be focused, and you know, they will inevitably learn skills faster. I am in love with these rugs that I never use because they're too expensive. But yeah, let's check on the boys and see how they're doing. Oh, looks like they're having fun. And then you know what, Venus, I want her to tend the reception. Ooh, somebody's already tending the reception area, so that's nice. I wish we can read some magazines, but we can't. I'm just gonna have Venus dance to this electronica music. And then let's see here, Maya is going to appreciate some of these sculptures if she can. Oh, okay, she can't, but it's a nice composition, I guess. You guys will see more of this in the actual walkthrough that it's gonna happen in a little bit after I do this real-time showcase to you guys. And by the way, I have to apologize because my mouse button, my middle mouse button is not working properly. So if you guys see me struggling to rotate my camera, that is the reason why. Kaylee and Maya, I want them to go over here and appreciate some of these other artworks. And you guys can actually set this lot as a different lot type, and you guys can actually pretty much do whatever you want with it once you download it. But yes, I love how we have striking contrast with the color scheme that I use. Usually I would go for a more subdued, more subtle color scheme, but this one we have like so much intense contrast happening. And once again, I have to point out that these cabinets, or like these wall cabinets, I think they really help. You know, they look like they're built in, and I think they really help with, you know, making it look like an actual museum, because it looks very realistic now. So yeah, and these are supposed to be name tags for the paintings, but yeah, we can't do anything. I should have made like a gallery that was exclusive. You can put pictures and stuff, because that'd be great. But you can add frames, you know, you can customize, you know, these tags, I guess, according to what you would want. You can just leave them as is, or you can add some frames to them, which, you know, adds a little bit more character to the museum. And the black frame matches with all the other black items in this gallery. And over here we have some additional paintings and a sculpture, actually, which she, oh, view sad work. I actually really like this sculpture. It is a sculpture of a man holding an umbrella, and he looks like he's drenched and stuff. I don't know, it's kind of tragic like that, and he has this background of a very, very very sad looking painting as well. I don't know, it's just really cool. You know, there, like I said in the speed builds part, there's a lot of emotions in artwork that really is enhanced by architecture if done properly. So you guys can see that even though the building itself is very, very minimalist, there's a lot of contrast. I keep saying contrast for some strange reason, but there's a lot of relationship between the angles and the lighting, and I don't know, I went for unconventional mood lighting, so hopefully that'll also help. But I think lighting, architecture really plays an important role in museums, because they really bring out the story in these pieces of art, and I think they really make the artwork come alive. And I'm being very poetic right now, but I don't know, it's great. I am especially in love with this gallery right here. I don't know, it's just amazing. And I love how I wasn't even able to use all the paintings that came with this set, because I believe there's 3 more paintings that came with this set that I wasn't able to use because there's just no space. And then everything else I was able to use. Actually, this painting comes with the set of this one, and everything else I was able to use the whole entire set except for that one that I mentioned earlier. And you guys will also see a lot of like repetition. I don't know, it's a modern experience, you know, the only difference is color, but I think that was also another very poetic way of showcasing artwork and showcasing these different sculptures and stuff. But she is still dancing. I'm just gonna go ahead and actually have this is my family from my Get to Work Let's Play, by the way. I'm just gonna have him make a drink of some flaming zesty salt. That's really cool. I'm actually craving for some salted caramel milk tea right now because I have been talking for such a long time already, and I'm probably gonna wrap up this part in a little bit. So I'm just gonna go ahead and have our Sims actually just let's see here. You know what? Let's just go ahead and call it a day and wrap up this part, because I'm pretty sure you guys can't wait to see the actual walkthrough that I'm gonna do for this video. It's gonna be really awesome. You guys will see it from the perspective of the Sims, which is so exciting. But yeah, like I said, that is going to be it for the commentary part of this video. I hope you guys stick until the end of the video. As usual, you all have an awesome day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.